I'm not a wildflower expert, so once I take a picture of a wildflower, then I will swipe up as you do, and it'll ask me to look up the plant, or it'll give me results right away. This says it's baby blue eyes. If I'm not sure or I want to double check, I can go to this app called Northern California Wildflowers, and you just type on the wildflower icon and then type in baby blue eyes, and there it is. It is native to this area. Taking you on a day in my life. Wish I had a jacket on though, it's a little chilly. all these wood chips are from when I had the company come over to limb up all these Douglas fir trees over here. And they chipped them and put them over in the front entrance so that I can use them as ground cover. And that's what I'm going to do in the garden so that I can keep all the mud at bay. The garden is far enough from any structures and any big trees that I'm not going to worry about fire hazard. And also, you know, I'm going to be watering a lot, so they'll always be pretty much damp. Using that bucket was the easiest way that I found to load all these wood chips into the gator. Instead of just using a shovel, I have done that before and it takes forever. It's painful. So yeah, I just use that bucket and it seems to work good. So yeah, I'm gonna probably do 2 more loads and start breaking down the chicken wire that's around the garden and pulling it back. That's a great view for a lunch break. Okay, break is over. I'm gonna go and plant out my potatoes and clean my solar panels. They're quite dusty. Well, I guess I got to do more than just rinse it because there's still a lot of dirt. I have to get out my moppy thing. Oh gosh. Okay, here's where I have all the lettuces and the peas and beans. Everything looks really healthy and growing well, especially the romaine on the end. And then the very back in those black planters, I just have my eggplant little seedlings and my peppers. Those we planted out when it gets a little warmer. It's too cold. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, the collard greens look great. Sheesh. Last job for the day is to feed the horses dinner. Hope you stick around for a quick update, and thanks for watching. Well, I have had a very eventful past 5 days. I finally was able to get the dealer, and I'll just say it now, it's Camping World, to send out an RV tech to deal with all my warranty issues. He came out and fixed the slide-out toppers so they're not slack anymore. He fixed the back bathroom pipes. Well, it wasn't really the pipes. It was something to do with when it was the RV was being built. So it was in the manufacturing stage. They didn't complete something, and so that's why I was having some issues with leaky pipes back there. He fixed it pretty quick. It's done. It's great. Yeah. Negatives. He wasn't able to fix the gray water tank valve that is bent, and it's always open. It's always been that way since I got the RV. He wasn't able to do that because he said that it had to be done at the shop because they have to pull down the underbelly of the RV to replace that particular valve. You know, I have seen videos of this exact thing taking place in people's backyards and at camping sites. So, you know, I think it's just an excuse, whatever. I'll have to get it done when I take the thing to Camping World. For now, I did install. It's mostly just attach a separate valve you can get, and it makes things much easier. It just sits outside of the tank outlet pipe, and it's working great. It's made much better than the valves that they have in the RV. So that's the solution for now. It's fine. The other negative is, I think you know where I'm going with this, is the furnace. He thought that he had fixed the furnace. He thought it was the sail switch. He cleaned the sail switch. He showed me how to clean the sail switch. It worked for 2 days, and then it stopped working. So this stopped working on a Sunday. Of course, everything's closed. There's nobody that can help me with any of that. I did call Good Sam Service, which is a roadside assistance that's part of Camping World. And they walked me through things. They thought maybe it was the circuit board. They weren't sure. I decided to stay in the trailer overnight. That was Sunday night. Because the lows were going to be in the 40s. And I thought it would be okay with using just the electric fireplace that's on board. And it does kick out a lot of heat. And it worked until like 3 in the morning. And then it started getting freezing in there. Plus, it pulls a lot of the solar battery, and the generator kicked on like at 2 in the morning. And it was charging the battery for like an hour. So I didn't want to deal with that anymore. I thought that's just wasting propane. So we moved over here last night back to the cabin. My brothers are here. Max is happy because he has friends to play with, the dogs. So yeah, we did that last night, and that was Monday night. But before that, in the morning, I did call Camping World. It explained that it's not fixed. They weren't very helpful. I'm just going to say that. And basically pushed me off to RV Mobile Service again. But this time I found another service, and they seem to it seems like they know what they're doing. And they're more on top of things. They had parts on them. And, they're trying to be polite, but they know of the RV service that I used before, and they didn't really have many good things to say about them. But yeah, the guy was here yesterday for 5 hours trying to get that thing fixed. It does work. It does kick out heat through the exhaust, but it doesn't bring it into the actual unit of the RV. And there's other issues, but anyway, after 5 hours, he asked if he could just take the whole furnace out and take it back to the shop to see if they can get it fixed there with their equipment that they have there. And I said, go ahead. I'm not going to stay there tonight anyway. They promised to get it back to me as soon as possible. They know my whole situation with the last one, so they promised that they would. So that's where I'm at. If they can't get it fixed, I'm going to have to go through Keystone and ask them to replace the thing with a new one, or tow the camper, the trailer, to Camping World to have them fix it. That's where I'm at with that. I'm not going to stress about it. I refuse. I stressed about it yesterday. I'm not going to do it today. Today, I have to, actually, in the next 10 minutes, I have to drive down to the gate, open the gate, to let in the people that are bringing my shipping container that I purchased. So they're going to bring in a 20-foot shipping container, put it on the property. I took care of a space where I want it, and yeah, excited about that. Finally, that's happening. Yeah, I haven't gotten a hold of the people that I need to have them move my RV back yet. They haven't returned my calls, but that'll happen soon enough. But right now, the shipping container is coming, and that's exciting. So that's my update for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around. And yeah, next time I have an update, I will be back here. Have a good week.